Ford, one of the nation's first automakers, is renowned for creating amazing vehicles, with the Ford Mustang serving as its pinnacle. One of Ford's longest-running sub-brands, the Mustang, has been manufactured continuously since 1964. Car enthusiasts are fascinated by the high-tech sport coupe styling of the Mustang. The Mustang has remained a favorite among auto aficionados since it was first introduced, and various modern sports vehicles have been based on it. The Ford Mustang made its debut on April 17, 1964. In this article, we will be looking at the Ford Mustang logo, its evolution, its symbol, and its production history. For starters, wild horses wander freely in the western United States of America, including Mustangs, which are feral horses, meaning they were originally domesticated but have since gone wild. These horses are descendants of the Spanish horses that were introduced to the United States. Today, Mustangs are protected by the United States Bureau of Land Management, BLM, and thrive without human interference. Mustangs come in both male and female varieties, and their bodies and coats can differ. Mustangs often have 14 to 15 hands and a thin frame. Horses are measured using hands, and one hand is about equivalent to 4 inches. Although populations are often tiny, they can have traits of both draft horses and thoroughbreds. Ford presented the first automobile, dubbed the Mustang, in 1964. It was designed by the firm to be a cutting-edge, opulent, yet cost-effective sports automobile. The Ford Mustang has become a classic, and its symbol makes it easy for people all over the world to recognize it. The vehicle was given the name Cougar during its pre-launch, and the initial models even featured an animal-themed emblem. The ideal brand name and visual identity took Ford a long time to decide upon, but once they had, the Mustang emblem stuck to the automobile and has mostly remained unchanged ever since. Now let's take a look at the history of the Mustang emblem. In 1964, one of the most well-known car emblems was developed. Phil Clark created the well-known running horse, and not much has changed since then. The horse's head and neck are horizontal in the 1964 version of the illustration, and it is galloping rather than running. It later gave rise to the well-known running horse we see today. The silhouette's lines tightened up and became more recognizable as the insignia grew rougher and sharper. The corporation struggled to decide on the horse's appearance and turn, so it took nearly a year to design the Mustang logo. Meanwhile, there are several explanations for the famed Mustang's right-to-left migration. The first theory says that the artist was right-handed, so it was easier for him or her to draw a horse running to the right. According to the second interpretation, the horse's independence is shown by its running in the opposite direction from other horses. Another explanation is that it happened accidentally while the original drawing was being transferred. The running pony on the Ford Mustang is a well-known symbol that stands for the brand's speed, freedom, and style, even though no one knows what it means exactly. The Mustang logo's silver color, on the other hand, is the finest choice for conveying the company's tenacity and drive. When compared to the traditional red color of Mustang cars, the location of the emblem looks much more rich and modern. Let's examine the history, development, and potential future of the iconic Mustang logo in numbered form. Number 1, the original pony logo, which was also known as the Ford Mustang I-Concept. There was nothing like this before the Ford Mustang. A sporty 2-seat concept car called the Mustang I-Concept was created separately from the Ford Mustang. The Californian race car builders Troutman and Barnes Mustang, on the other hand, only had names and no other ways to tell it apart. Ford designers chose Phil Clark's idea when they talked about how to use an icon to show that the car is American and that it is named after someone. His horse-based design, on which he had been working for some time, was appropriate. Number 2 was a 1962 Ford Cougar, which is an almost unpony. Given its imaginative name and the numerous cool associations it carries, it might seem inevitable that the Mustang would be a Mustang. However, the Cougar was the winner of the design contest for the car that would eventually become the Mustang. The winning design was referred to as such by Ford designer Gail Halderman. Even the grille was corralled like the pony that would eventually be seen on the production Mustang's mug, and it had an abstract, almost heraldic Cougar badge. We now obviously know that Mercury will apply it to the Cougar, a more upscale platform made to the young Mustang, to ensure Halderman's branding exercise wasn't for nothing. Number 3, the extra horses. When the design team began experimenting with other logo forms, the horse concept had already become firmly entrenched in Ford's corporate culture. Although it now seems backward, the attempt to turn Clark's pony to the left was completely arbitrary at the time. The crew also tried enclosing the pony's head in a square box to give it the appearance of a knight from a chess set. Lee Iacocca and Halderman came to the conclusion that Clark's horse ought to be facing left and appear to be moving. The once dynamically shifting Mustang logo had become static and complemented the car's athletic design. There are several reasons why the horse is moving to the viewer's left, but the main one is that this is simply how Clark always portrayed the animal. Number 4. Hack a wood. Wayno Kangas and Charles Carestes of the design firm made the final decisions and carved the logo design in wood. The final result is a bold, idealized, but still contemporary bronze sculpture by Frederick Remington from the mid-20th century. Even though some of the sharp, sculptural edges didn't make it into the final logo, the overall idea is still present. Number 5. The Pony Package. Throughout the Mustang's history, the corral has been there sometimes but not always. For example, the Pony Package, which was available on some 5th and 6th generation Mustangs, did not always have a corral. Number 6 was sharper edge of the 2010 Ford Mustang logo. The 2005 Mustang was the first pony car to have a clear retro look, but the 2010 update showed a completely new pony. Compared to the previous Mustang logo, this one was more stylized and had sharper edges and lines. Also, it looked like the wooden sculpture that was the model for the first symbol. However, it is more stylized and less realistic than before, especially around the mane. The redesigned pony was put on top of the tricolor bars in the grille of the 2012 Boss 302, just like it had been on California special models for at least 10 years. Number 7. The future Ford Mustang logo, Mach-E. The Mustang already exists in an electrified world. The Ford Mustang Mach-E is a muscular, agile electric crossover that proudly wears its pony badge with a modern twist. The Mach-E sports a metal-framed silhouette of the well-known running pony with stripes inside, rather than a sculptural aspect. It is evolutionary in the greatest manner possible, completely different from the chromed badge found on the majority of early Mustangs but still clearly recognizable as a Mustang. But before we wrap it up in this video, did you know the Ford Mustang goes by a few different names? Ford Cougar, Colt, Panther, Allegro, Stiletto, and other names were up for discussion before the name Mustang was chosen. Let's go through a list of other facts you might not know about Mustang cars. Fact number 1. On the first day, 22,000 units were sold. Before choosing Mustang, several alternate names were taken into consideration. Modern and vintage Ford Mustang cars are renowned for their strength and flair. Before its debut at the New York Auto Show in 1962, the Ford Mustang was advertised in prime time on 3 major networks. The automaker didn't understand how popular the Mustang would be until a staggering 22,000 of them were sold on the first day of sales. There was a long waiting list at the showrooms because the car was in high demand. Fact number 2. The Ford Mustang appears in a number of important films. Ford Mustang trivia is interesting. The Ford Mustang has been produced for more than 50 years and has been seen in more than 33,000 movies. The Mustang first appeared in the 1964 hit film Goldfinger. Later, a 1986 Mustang GT model appeared in the 1968 motion picture, Bullitt. Due to its stunning design, the automobile was given star treatment in numerous movies. A 1976 Shelby GT made an appearance in Gone in 60 Seconds, along with other well-known films like The Princess Diaries, War of the Worlds, Transformers, Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift, and Need for Speed. Mustangs also appeared as vehicles in a number of James Bond movies. Fact number 3. The most common color for Mustangs is red. Another fascinating fact about Mustangs is their preference for the color red. The preferred color of Mustang fans is red. Even though the Ford Mustang comes in a number of colors and the color is a matter of personal preference for car owners, red has always been the top pick. Customers of Mustangs also favor the colors yellow, blue, white, silver, green, black, and brown in addition to red. Fact number 4. Over $3 million was paid for the most expensive Mustang. Around 2013, a 1967 Shelby GT 500 Super Snake sale netted $1.3 million. Because there was only one test model made, this model is uncommon. But in reality, the astonishing sum of $3.5 million was paid for the 1965 Shelby Mustang GT 350R. This particular model is thought to have been the first GT 350R to triumph in a race with well-known driver Ken Miles. Fact number 5. The Ford Mustang is among the market's safest sports cars. Mustangs are a safe option for sports cars, according to automotive data. The NHTSA awarded the Ford Mustang a 5-star rating in crash tests. Ford decided to assess the safety of the Mustangs using real collisions. One of the safest vehicles on the road is the Mustang. Also, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, gave the model of car a 5-star rating in crash tests.